Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Party on Broad. It is Deibs, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Joining us today is my man, Austin. Follow him on Twitter at CrawlTPL. Check out the feed to Embiid. Covers the Sixers and the NBA. How you doing, Austin?
Great.
Starving for some Chick-fil-A. Also joining us today.
Oh, no. Wait. We have breaking news to announce. The Chick-fil-A's are now closing earlier. Oh, this is a disaster.
What?
There's a one in Plymouth meeting, closes at 8. One in East Norriton, wherever that is, closes at 9. Springfield, PA closes at 10. What is it with these places? I need to eat. What the fuck?
God. 2021 can get here fast enough.
We might have to take this podcast on the road.
Also joining us today is my man, Thiago. Follow him on Twitter at TScabia. What's going on, Thiago?
Yeah, man, I haven't eaten dinner yet, and curfew starts in like half an hour, so I'm excited to get this Desmond Bane pod quickly wrapped up in 5 minutes.
All right. Good thing we're talking about
3 minutes. Make this one quick.
Today we are talking about prospect Desmond Bane, and we're talking about his strengths, we're talking about his weaknesses, and we're going to talk about the best fits in the NBA draft. My man Thiago wrote an awesome breakdown on this guy. You can check that out over at thepaintlines.com. Thiago, who is Desmond Bane? Come on, man.
Desmond Bane, man. Play great at TCU at the end. Man, Desmond Bane, a name not a lot of people knew about 4 years ago. Was not highly recruited. People didn't know much of anything about him. Came into TCU with a guy called Jamie Dixon. He's the head coach. He was the head coach at Pitt at the time. And TCU was off a 12-win season. So it was a bad team. It was a bad situation. TCU immediately started to win with him on the court. And they won 20 games, 3 of the 4 seasons he was at TCU. But most importantly, I mean, Desmond Bane is a highly experienced guy. Played over 4,000 minutes at TCU, which is the 6th most in Big 12 history. 4,000, correct. Posted a 119 offensive rating career, which is also the 7th highest in the Big 12. So a guy who drove wins a lot through his offense. So his progress at TCU has been very interesting. Again, he's went from like an off-ball option to a guy who can really shoot off the catch and really shoot and extend offenses from the three-point line. I think that's going to be his calling card in the NBA. But for the sake of this spot, I think we have to answer the one critical question with Desmond Bane, and that is, can all that good stuff translate when he looks like he's playing the game in slow motion at times? So I think the athleticism is going to be a question we have to answer. And if we do answer that question, we'll be able to bring a lot of those skill sets to the NBA.
Could we answer this question in less than 2 minutes?
Probably yes.
All right, Austin. Lead us off, man. Let's talk about the strengths of Desmond Bane. Go ahead, Austin.
I like him. I think he has a bit of a natural shot creation. I think I've seen him. He's slow as all hell. Let's not neglect that. I mean, he is slow. I don't mean fast. I mean like slow.
Do you mean slow?
Now means I mean slow. So I think he has this ability to create space. I really do. I think he uses his feet to fake well. I think he has a tight handle. I think his jumper is certainly it goes in. Would I call it pretty? And I'm pretty liberal with like how I've rated jump shots. I'm not like a stickler. I typically keep it as tight as like, are the mechanics repeatable? Is release quick above his head? Is it does he change it from spot to spot? That's all I care about really. The follow through for him is a little bit short-winded, and I think that can hurt you at times. But I think he's a very interesting prospect because, again, slow as all hell, but he is nifty.
To me, this is like a modern NBA guard wing. slash forward. Like this is a potential 3-and-D prospect. And I use the keyword potential because that's very important. But that you saw his overall deficiency drop as a senior. And that's, we saw his usage rate during his last year there skyrocket. You saw his efficiency decrease. But that's not Desmond Bane in the NBA, as Thiago talked about. So I don't see Desmond Bane as a creator by any means. I see this guy as a pure catch and shoot guy, a guy that could become eventually a 3-and-D prospect. He's flashed enough for me offensively and defensively. Even if that defense is flat out average, the offense is enough for me to think of him as a potential 3-and-D guy. I love his positional versatility. We talk about that awesome Brock Landis video. Follow the Feed to Embiid on Twitter, co-host with Austin. But that is the key here.
Don't fucking follow me.
Positional versatility is the future of the NBA. So I love that this guy can switch effectively at the next level. So I see him as a solid team defender, not a lockdown guy, obviously. Like that's, the potential is there, but certainly not a negative. Go ahead, Thiago.
He's no Jordan Wara.
Oh, man. Just bleep that name once and for all. For me, I mean, a guy who I'm going to throw a name out there, and you guys are probably going to laugh, but I saw this guy when I watched him play, and the name is PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
And I think his calling card PJ Tucker.
I think dog who?
I think his calling card in the NBA is to really bank on the fact he's a super strong athlete. I mean, he would body guys off the post. They're like almost twice his size. I think his calling card is, putting away all that ball handling stuff and really focus on the shot, stretching the offense from the wing, and really becoming that anchor defensive, a guy who perhaps teams could see as a possible stretch 5 in the future. He's got a very stocky, strong build. And I think he can really anchor a defense that banks on, a smaller lineup. So for me, I mean, it's kind of, building off that positional versatility, but really try to see if he can kind of become that strong anchor on defense. And if he does, playing alongside a point guard that will drive and kick, he may as well find a future in the NBA. So I'm very intrigued about him developing that part of his game in the future.
All right, let's talk about weaknesses. I'll lead us off. Then we'll go to Thiago. No, we'll go to Krell, and then we'll go to let Thiago finish off weaknesses before we get into best fits. But for me personally, there is such a wide range of opinion on this guy. I don't know if it's fair to call it a weakness, but I've seen this guy from a lock to being like a mid to late first round pick to not even being drafted at all. So that certainly gives me a pause when you watch the tape and you really kind of do a deep dive on this guy. That is kind of a crazy thing. The opinion, the diversity of opinion on this guy is diverse. So go ahead, Austin. What's a weakness of Desmond Bane?
He's slow.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I'm going to say the same thing.
No, I mean, I think at 6'6", you said he's versatile from like a position standpoint. Guys, bigger wings in the NBA, they can take you off the dribble. They can move. They're mobile. Unless he's like a 6'6" guy who's ultra athletic, which he's not. I don't see how that positional versatility translates. I think he's a kind of guy who, he'll be a 3 and like a little bit of D kind of guy, but he's not a Covington, which I mean is
obviously not
whatever. But I mean, I think you're looking at a guy who's like a Kyle Anderson type player. Not going to give you like so much. He can space a little bit and offer you some shooting and some skill playing and some consistency, but I just don't know how you fit him in a lineup where it's all predicated today on, can your point guard also play small forward? Can your small forward also play center? Can your power forward play point guard and center? It's fair. For a guy who's got to be locked into one position. It's at a position where you need to be speedy. Guards are quick. They're agile. if you can't recover in time off of a dribble, they're going to pull back and you're going to be done. You're going to be scrambling to get back, and they're going to be hitting jumpers in your eye. Play off of them, they're going to go around you. I don't think this is a kind league for him.
All right, so go ahead, Thiago. Talk a little bit about the defensive versatility of Desmond Bane and reaction to Austin, and what's a weakness of Mr. Desmond Bane.
Yeah, I mean, he's not quick. So right off the bat, I mean, that's his major weakness. We touched on it. We said it. Yeah, he's not. I mean, that we kind of beaten that tone to death. For me, I mean, what really stands out is on the defensive side is, yes, he's not going to be able to stick with guards, but he is strong and he can get under guys' chin, and he's able to blow through screens. And I think that's something that a lot of guys that you see defending on the wing today will just die on a pick and just leave a wide open lane for a guy to come in, take a shot, or take it to the rim. Desmond Bane is not that guy. So yeah, he may get exposed one-on-one, but he's going to fight through screens. He's going to make life hell for some ball handlers. So it's not all bad for them in perimeter. I do agree with Austin. Like, yeah, he will probably get exposed with like a Russell Westbrook or something like that. But it's not all bad. I just want to point that out. But the weakness is what we touched on at length. Like, this guy is a lottery pick if he was like a step faster and like 2 inches longer, period. Like, he's high Q, off the charts, super smart, has a legit shot, but it's just, it may not be there for him athletic. So I think, without us having to beat this point to death, it's just really, can he translate those tools being one step slower than everybody else?
I mean, I think he could write for the Athletic. That's probably as close as you can get to Athletic, but
no, not today. People, so.
You're probably right about Jordan Wara if he wrote for the Athletics. So.
I'm gonna name my son Jordan Wara Krill.
Oh man,
JNK Junk.
All right, let's talk about best fits for Mr. Desmond Bane. For me personally, I'm going with the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans have 2 picks in the top of that second round, and I think that's a perfect place for Desmond Bane to be selected. The New Orleans Pelicans were second in the NBA in pace. They were 5th best in three-point shooting. Meanwhile, they were like kind of middle of the pack defensively. Then you look at the roster. They want to optimize Zion Williamson. With a lineup with him, Ingram, Drew, Lonzo, I see Bane as like a potential stretch 4, like coming off the bench, who can defend 3s and 4s, open things up for Zion. I'm going with the New Orleans Pelicans. What about you, Austin?
I would say I think the Spurs would make sense. I think if you're looking for somebody who's like a fundamentally fine player, but has like his island of misfit toy limitation, I guess I would say, because that's kind of what the Spurs are, like a bunch of robots, generally pretty good. Like, some are too small, some are not that athletic, some are this, some are that. I'm not sure if my choice of that would be because he reminds me so much of Kyle Anderson or other reasons, but yeah, I could see him in San Antonio.
What about you?
As like a Boris Diaw type player.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Thiago.
That's it's exactly what I wrote down. Boris Diaw, San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, I will say this. I mean, we're talking about an NBA season is going to end in October, and the season is going to restart again in December. And if you're a team looking to draft this off season, like, how much are you willing to invest on guys who are not somewhat NBA ready, knowing that you're gonna have a very short time to prep these guys? So a guy like Desmond Bane may have value simply from the standpoint of like, he just knows what to do. He's a smart guy. You don't need to coach him. You don't have to spend a lot of time coaching him. So I think he's going to be picked higher than people think, primarily because of that reason.
Awesome. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up, Austin? Go ahead, dude.
Food.
I'm going to get me a chicken sandwich. It's going to be delicious.
All right. I'm going to wrap. I'm going to just put this on a bow tie and just go. All right. Make sure you follow my man Austin on Twitter @KrellTPL.
Jordan Wara.
Check out the Feed to Embiid on Twitter at the Feed to Embiid. With Brock Landis, checks out everything Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA draft. And check out my man Thiago on Twitter at tscabia. For Thiago, for Austin, for myself, thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Sixers win it! Wow! Oh man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get it.